What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another channel, and it's another sit-down conversation. And we're wearing brown.
I think they see that we're sitting down.
They don't know. We're sitting down, and I promise we did not plan this. This is brown vibes 100.
It's very moody. It's very we're all in with the nudes and the taupes and the the rustic vibes going down right now.
We're giving you rustic vibes. And I hope a week before Christmas you're just really catching the rusticness of our situation.
Rustic holiday with the bows.
It is 1 week till Christmas, and we just have something on our heart that the Lord dropped from heaven, and here we are delivering it right to you. And here's the thing, guys, you have to break up with this in 2020. You cannot carry this into 2021.
Please don't. Don't be carrying self-pity into your 2021.
Yeah, self-pity.
Yep.
Unbelief.
Oh yeah, I missed some.
Negative thinking. All the toxicity
of 2020 that hit you. Don't be bringing it into 2021. You know, obviously we're still dealing with a pandemic and stuff going on, and it's easy to allow that to damper the beauty that God's doing even in your life, around you, and because you see you're constantly throwing such negativeness, and you see despair, and you can, before you know it, you can start wearing that.
There's a lot of hard things, a lot of hard things about this year for a lot of people.
And a lot of you guys have walked through stuff, we've walked through stuff, and it's been a hugely impactful year, but at the same time we feel like there's, in conversations with some people and seeing some things on social media and stuff, we see that, self-pity is rising in this. And
it's on the rise.
It's on the rise. There's a propensity that when things get bad and you may have a string of bad things happen. Some people might call it a bad omen, or, I'm just unlucky, or you get into this woe is me situation. And that's when you start spiraling down in this dark hole, and you're constantly looking at negative things and highlighting the negative aspects of things happening in your life, as opposed to looking for the positive things and the goodness of God despite your situation.
See, here's the thing about Frederick. I'm pretty sure he's never experienced this. I think the most I'm pretty sure you're the most positive, confident human I know. I am very positive, but this has been a struggle in my life, and I think just surroundings of people in my history of 37 years, that it is so easy for your mind to go down these dark holes. Well, self-pity on its own is just a belief that pretty much God's doing everything for everyone else and not for you. And it becomes full of excuses and just kind of like, I was handed the short stick and everybody else just has it so good, and God's doing this for them, and God's doing for that person, and will it ever happen? Well, and it's like, that's the kind of like fluffy version. But there are some people I know literally that believe the world is against them. And you can't even be around them because it feels like, and the crazy thing is they are super talented people. You would look at them and be like, wow, the world is your oyster, but it's that mind trick. And that's
self-pity got them stuck. With self-pity, it's kind of like quicksand. You always see these cartoons, these westerns where someone gets in quicksand and they slowly start sinking deeper and deeper. They try to move a little bit, but then they sink further down. I feel like self-pity does that to so many people, to where you get stuck in it.
You're stuck.
And you're not doing anything. You're not trying to do anything productive. You're not chasing your dreams. You're not going after things God's calling you to do, because you're just stuck in looking outward at everybody else and seeing the good things happen to everybody else. And it's just paralyzing to you that you're not doing anything for yourself.
And it can even borderline this victim mentality.
If
you've experienced trauma in your life, it can be like stuck on you, where the Lord's actually saying, you know what, it's time for you to get up and move on. I've personally been there, where I would just rotate in my mind things that had happened to me or conversations that had happened to me. and literally just be stuck. And you're stuck because you're still talking about it to everyone. Well, it happened, and there's truth and there's facts. But God doesn't want us stuck thinking about the things that have happened to us, and not getting the healing that we need, and not believing that there's a greater future ahead, and that today God has made this day to literally be lived with purpose and freedom and expectancy. And when we lose our hope and we lose our belief, and that kind of goes into the unbelief, we literally, life just kind of feels like purposeless,
drab.
And we all know that person, that really can't get over that hurdle. They every day are feeling kind of something down about themselves, and it's like
they're stuck in if you guys have computers and stuff, sometimes you go to a web page and then you try to get to a web page, try to go somewhere on the internet, and the page just keeps looping, probably because your internet's bad or just something happened and the computer froze, but it just loops and loops, and that person's just stuck in that loop. They keep circling around that same thing, that same self-pity over and over and over, and you're like, can you just reboot this computer? Can you just renew your mind one time and just get over?
Can you do it? And that's the thing. If you're a super encouraging person and you have somebody in your life like this, or maybe you are the person, just think there's only so much that people can do to be there for you. It's really you. If I ever get in a funk, because Lord knows I have been in a funk, especially postpartum things, you can kind of just try to get ahead of the season and not, I'm not saying this is where I'm at, but days where you're just not embracing where you're at. Or you kind of think, oh my gosh, am I going to be in the corner just by myself breastfeeding for the rest of time? And it's just thoughts like that where it just start, and things are hard, and if you have what is it with hard days? You just feel like if it's a hard day, it's forever. It's always gonna be a hard day. And I don't even know where I was going with this, but the point is, you have the ability to get yourself out of it. And Frederick can only encourage me so much before it's a wake up call, time out. I'm responsible for my own thoughts and my own life and my own beliefs, and I have to get up.
It's at some point you have to get up and start doing and moving forward. That guy in the Bible that kept complaining that everybody's beating me to the Jordan River or whatever the pool of Bethesda to get their healing, and I guess he was supposed to get to the pool by the time the water bubbled up, and he would never get there in time because he was lame and he's trying to get there, but Jesus told him to get up and walk. And all they had to do is get up and walk, and he could get his healing, get his miracle. And I think that's part of the things when it comes to self-pity, that we're so afraid to just get up and walk, get up and move toward whatever the thing is, our healing, to work toward the dreams, the aspirations, whatever the calling is, the purposes that God's put in our lives, because we're so stuck in self-pity that we don't get our healing because you won't get up and walk. You won't get your breakthrough because you won't move in that direction.
That's good. I feel recently I've been asking the Lord, what is stopping people from obtaining their promises? And it just all goes back. I was even reading in Hebrews, and it goes back to the Old Testament, if you're familiar. If you're, non-Christian listening, there's a story in the Bible that talks about the Israelites being led out of Egypt and into the wilderness. And it was actually only a 40-day journey, but they ended up spending 40 years. 40 years because of their complaining and their unbelief. And they actually never entered into the promises and the rest that God had for them. If they had just believed the God who had already delivered them. He basically was handing them the promises on a platter. And because the journey didn't look like where they were going, and some things had happened to them, it caused them to even want to go back to Egypt, go back to the chaos, and so I'm just God, I don't want any unbelief in my life. Are there any areas? And it's crazy, it's that simple. God is saying it's the belief that moves the heart of God.
Yeah, and even to further that point along, there's a point in the Bible where Jesus returned to Nazareth, I think, and he was there speaking the word, and everybody was amazed at how much of the word he knew. And there were people there that were saying, "Hey, he's just a carpenter. What do you know?" You know, and that was one of the few times in the Bible where it's written that Jesus didn't perform any miracles there because of their unbelief. And he's looking to, obviously, if we connect with him with faith and believe that he has the best for us, believe that he's calling us to greatness, believe that he's designed you for a purpose and for a reason, and the time is now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. You haven't missed it. You don't have to wait another 10 years. The time is now. Like, he's looking to use you now and to propel you into your calling now. So
it is now.
Just believe.
It's the agreement with what God is already telling you. And it's that simple. Like, it's crazy if you just stew on it for a minute. It's like, okay, God, basically you're just saying I'm supposed to believe and trust what you said. But like, you know what kind of family I come from, or you know my experience, or you know I'm 37 and this has never actually happened yet. So why would it happen? You know, or whatever your situation may be. It's just like the mind is so freaking crazy.
No, whatever you set your mind. Yeah, you can't say that. We have kids, but whatever you focus your mind on, like, the mind is such a powerful tool. Like, you can accomplish the most amazing things with the right amount of focus and using the mind. Like, we only use I think we use 3% of our actual brain power. Can you fathom that? Like, pretty sure I use 1% of my brain power. I'm not even using the full 3%. But imagine if you use 10%.
Zero.
If you have self-pity and you're woe is me, all that stuff, you don't truly have faith and believe that God's going to raise you out of that, or that he's going to come and rescue you. He's going to stretch his hand out. And you think we're busting out all kind of Bible stories. This chat, I'm like, you think when Peter
we are prayed up and ready for this chat.
You think when the Lord Jesus told Peter to walk on water, walk to me. It took faith to walk on water. But even though he didn't have all the faith, as he was sinking, the Lord still put his hand out to catch him and say, "Ye have little faith," but he had enough faith still, and the Lord still rescued him. Like, the Lord didn't let him drown. No. So if you're in self-pity, you feel like you're drowning, you feel like you're hurting, you feel like it's the end of the road and nothing's happening, just have faith and believe and know that God's got you and he's going to pull you out of whatever that is and that circumstance, and just trust him and watch him. Watch him do what only he can do.
There is, and I'm hearing this, that there is power and life in our words. And think about the environment, life and death in the tongue, to be more specific. And think about what truly you say out loud every day, like to your friends or to yourself, or when you're thinking, like, that is actually boomerang and hook and hitting you. What is my hook analogy? Hitting you back every time it comes out. And if you're speaking life, like, you know, you could be sitting here and feel like, wow, my friend circle's really changed, or I don't have a job, God. And instead of just like sitting around and, I don't have a job, God, I'll never have a job, no one's ever gonna hire me because no one likes me and my life sucks and it's just sitting there, and you know, like, we've all been there, but we need to snap out of it.
Don't go down that hole.
And it could feel like, oh yeah, okay, well, positivity, you know, those people who just hate positive people. Well, Patrick and I happen to be positive people, and we're two people who have experienced a lot of heartache and a lot of hardships, and sometimes I think I should just be like dead on the side of the road if I had allowed my self-destruction to explode because life is hard, but it takes the Spirit of the living God that is in you to come in partnership with Christ, and Jesus already took all that when he died on the cross. And so we don't have to sit there and like be crucified with our self-pity and doubt and negative thinking, because it's really getting us nowhere. And as we move into a new year, Like 2020's been crazy.
Yes.
But we have a fresh day every day.
Yeah.
It's not just a fresh year, it's a fresh day.
It's a fresh day. And you have an opportunity to just do something amazing. You're here. We're here. And that isn't the case for a lot of people. You're still on this earth. You're here for a reason. And if you're going into 2021, don't look at it as, oh, it's just going to be another 2020 and
why did your voice change like that?
This is how you sound.
2020.
This is how you sound when you say that stuff.
Take me down.
You know, 2020 almost took me down. 2021's gonna knock me out. Like, don't be that way. You know, just look at 2021 and look at today, the day you're living right now, as a new opportunity to grow, as a new opportunity to get closer to being all that God's called you to be, a new opportunity to achieving your goals, achieving your dreams, because life is happening and you have this opportunity to like go after these things and don't sit around and just be thinking what if, you know. I think you just have to seize the opportunity. Like, you have one life to live.
Shot.
Yeah.
Every time one mic
comes up.
Why am I always thinking that song?
Your outlook determines or directly affects your projection. So depending on the outlook you have will determine how far you can go. So if you have an outlook that's just salty and nasty, like nasty and salty, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can think of. Like a sulky outlook on life, then you're not going to go far in life. You're not going to achieve greatness because of your outlook. But if you have take the outlook like, hey, it's going to get better. I'm going to get that job I wanted. I may not have it now, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to be able to do this thing, this dream. I'm going to work toward it. Then you're gonna take steps forward and advance to that thing that you want to do. If you have a positive outlook instead of the woe is me outlook, I forgot what I was gonna say. I literally forgot.
I'll finish his sentence. If you have a woe is me outlook, nobody wants to be around.
Well, hey,
I said it. Okay.
Right. I was trying to make it sound much more nicer, but ain't nobody want to be around you. If you sulking, if you bring in the negativity.
Think about your days. Think about your days when
you hang around.
Yeah, wake up and you just start claiming like, God, this is gonna be a great day.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be amazing. Now, I didn't say you had to feel it. I didn't say you had to feel it, because Lord knows I don't feel it when I get out. I'm like, no, this is gonna be a bomb day.
Yeah.
Like this day, I'm gonna get up with my creativity. I'm gonna have joy. I'm gonna find out who might need encouragement, who I can serve, who I can love on. Like, I'll tell you, self-pity will die fast when you get yourself off your mind.
And get others
helping
others. Serving others.
It sounds so cliche, but think about it. It could be something super. Think about when you like give a gift to somebody, or you're really excited to give them something. You get kind of this energy and this rush.
It's a vibe.
It's what?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. I did want to read one scripture and ended it, because you know the girl likes to be in the Word of God. It's Philippians 4. You may know, you may not, but that's okay. I'm going to read it to you. And it goes a little something like this. Summing it all up, friends, I'd say you do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious. The best, not the worst. The beautiful, not the ugly. Things to praise, not things to curse. Put into practice what you learned from me that you heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent harmonies. So think about that when you're thinking about yourself.
Harmonies.
Harmonies. When you're thinking about yourself, think about the thoughts you think about yourself.
Yeah.
Stop thinking, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, no one would want to marry me, no one wants to hire me, no one wants to be friends with me, I'm fat, I'm like...
Don't think those negative stuff.
You would not say those things to people.
Don't think it.
Just like, really, you have the power and authority by Christ to cast down those thoughts and get in agreement with who he says you are. And that's how we're thriving, friends.
Yeah,
that is
seriously.
Literally, it is the battlefield of the mind.
Yes.
And if we can get that under control, we are going to places that you never ever imagined that you would go to, because God is the champion for you. So.
And if you have self-pity and you're stuck and you feel like you're stuck in that infinite loop we talked about earlier, you have to keep renewing your mind.
Absolutely.
Just every single day, whenever you have those thoughts, if you have a negative thought or a self-pity thought, you got to replace it with 3 positive thoughts or 3 thoughts about who God says you are. Like, don't just leave it hanging in blank. You have to replace it with at least 3 thoughts about who God says you are, or the things, your dreams that you're going to accomplish, or your goals that you're going to do. You're like, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or I am this. God says I am this. So you have to constantly renew your mind, and as you do that, you'll start to experience that what you thought was quicksand really is water, and you just have to get out of it.
Oh, he said it. He said it, ladies and gentlemen. And I say, write it on a post-it and put it on your mirror, and don't you forget it in 2021. Okay.
Anyway, guys.
Okay, guys.
Thanks for watching this vid. As always, hit that thumbs up, like this video, hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell about them.
Tell your mom about us. Tell your dad about us. Tell your aunt about us. Tell your uncle about us.
About them.
Tell your grandma too.
Your granny like to know about us.
Anyway, guys, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Next time. Bye.